Welcome to the B. Andrews Radio Show. This is an awesome day in central Wisconsin. I just checked the weather, and it is 55 degrees outside. Sun is shining on this 28th day of November. 55 degrees in Wisconsin on the 28th of November.
Tropical heat
Woo-hoo! You know, we've got that Wisconsin thing going on where people are running around in their sweat jackets and shorts with flip-flops.
Wait. Did you say sweat jackets?
Sweat jackets, yeah. Call them sweat jackets
You
anymore?
mean track jackets, maybe? Or
Whatever,
or
you know,
sweat
hoodies, you know.
I'll give you hoodies.
Okay, they're running around with their hoodies on.
Sweatpants.
And they're running around with their hoodies on in shorts and flip-flops because that's what you do in Wisconsin when you get a tropical heat wave. I mean, forget about going with a short-sleeve shirt with pants because the wind's blowing and it's cool and drafty. No, the kids around here, it's the sweatshirt top or the hoodie top.
Sweatshirts, yeah, okay. Sweatshirts.
And with shorts and flip-flops.
There's sweatshops, sweatshirts.
What are you trying to say, man?
Pants.
That this is going to be a bad day with me talking on the radio?
Sweat jackets. I don't think there's a sweat jacket.
Yes, there is. It goes with the sweatpants. The sweat jacket that goes with the sweatpants.
No.
Oh, yeah, totally.
No.
I am so right about this. By the way, heard a new product. I'm not into trendy clothes, but I actually think I want to give this a try. There's a shirt company out, and the name of the company is called Untuck It. And I'm serious. I heard this advertised on the radio. And can we get in trouble for that? Me mentioning their name?
I don't know.
You know what I ought to do is we just ought to send them an advertising bill.
There you go. We did this for you. That'll be $6.95.
Please, or just send us shirts. We'll take the free shirts anyway. And that's their whole gimmick is like, you know, the guy style nowadays where they wear the shirt and pull it out and leave it untucked. So that's their whole thing. These shirts are totally made not to wear tucked in. In fact, their name is Untuck It. It's kind of a cool name, you know, when you have Nantucket and other Tuckets, Kentucket. Oh, that's Kentucky. Anyway, you got all these other places, but Untuck It. That's a shirt name. Looking for. I'd like to try maybe find some of their stuff because just as soon as I get me a shirt that I don't have to tuck in, you know what my wife's going to say, right? That'll look so much nicer if you just tuck it in. Hey, the brand name is Untuck It.
Wow.
Think I'll get by with that?
Nope.
Oh, man.
You know, they have sweat bands, too.
Are you still stuck on this? Sweat shirts.
Sweatshirt.
Sweat jackets that go with the sweat pants.
Sweatshirt. Sweatpants. Sweatbands. Sweatshops. No sweat jackets.
I guarantee you.
No,
I guarantee you.
no.
If you don't believe me, ask my dad.
That's not an authority on it. No.
He'll tell you, hey, man, that's your sweat jacket over there, right?
No.
Absolutely.
No.
I'm telling you, I've heard it both ways.
No.
Okay? So anyway, tried a new thing last week, and we're going to try a little bit more of it today, and we're calling it the 2-minute drill. 2-minute drill is what happens when we do a segment, and then we take a break and do a segment and take a break. And so we got 2 breaks in the middle of 3 segments, right? Because if I do my math right, segment, break, segment. Yeah, so 2 segments, 2 breaks in the middle of 3 segments. So what we're trying to do is in between that, we're going to go live, a live feed on video, and we're calling it the 2-minute drill because there's approximately 2 minutes in between segments, and so we take a little break, we go get some more coffee, get a drink of water, do it is what we're going to do. Well, we're going to sacrifice for you. We're going to broadcast that time straight through. This is going to be a good show today. I can see it coming. And what we're going to do is when we get done doing the radio broadcast, we're going to kick over to Facebook Live. Whew. For 2 minutes, kind of let you know how the show's going so you can catch us over there. Cool thing, one of our Wesleyan pastors, Mike Veach, I have not met him personally. I've had contact with him and so forth in working on booking some of our B. Andrews shows when we go on the road. So I know him from there. He's also a friend of mine on Facebook. And I just saw where he was doing a live devotional at a radio station. But he took in his phone while he was doing that at the radio station, and he clicks on Facebook Live doing the devotional, and he's broadcasting it live while he's doing...
Well, that's cool.
While he's doing the thing. And it's kind of like, wow, what if we did that with the radio show?
Well, that's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe just one of the segments.
Of course, then I couldn't sit over here and pick my nose because everybody would be watching, so...
Is that what you do when I'm not looking? Man, I had no idea. So, anyway, when I do tell you, and by the way, I haven't done this part of the show yet. By the way, I am your beloved co-host. One of your beloved co-hosts, Eric, on this side of the room. And on the other side of the room is your other beloved co-host, John. Say hi, John.
Hi.
And you've been making all kinds of noise.
I kind of wanted another title. I am your beloved co-host, Eric. And beside me is my near all-powerful co-host, John.
Gee, tell me how you really feel.
I just wanted a really cool title.
We'll have to work on that. I'll see if I can get you a really cool... Well, I'll run it past you first to make sure it is... And then what you'll have to do is when I go to announce it, you'll have to put me on that giant reverb machine, whatever.
Well, I can do that, yeah.
So that, it has that omni power...
Try it right now. You choose something, and then I'll make it sound awesome.
And on the other side of the room is... your Maximus Hostess.
Okay.
This makes you sound like a giant Twinkie.
Exactly. I was going to say, either I'm a girl and I'm waiting in a diner in the 50s, or I sound like a hostess treat. Yep, pretty much. Do you think that'll be like the newest hostess snack? You'll have like your Little Debbies, your Twinkies, and your Hostess Maximus.
Well, speaking of that, the other day, as a kid, I grew up on Little Debbie oatmeal cakes. And I did. 25 cents. You go get a little Debbie. And they were, this big around. And I've noticed that over the years.
How big is that?
You guys can't see it, but it is this big around.
It was this big.
It was this big. Okay, audience, you just have to remember it.
Picture
if you could go back.
Picture A.
If you could go back 20 years, a wagon wheel size. No, it was smaller than that. But, I don't know.
It's about the size of a CD.
A little smaller. A little smaller than the size of a CD.
That's way more contextual than this big.
Okay. And for a quarter, okay? And I've noticed over the years, I think they've gone up to 50 cents and they've gotten a little smaller. And it's just kind of, it's inflation, all that other stuff. It's just kind of bummed me out a little bit. So the other day needed a quick something. And so ran in, I was buying gas, and right there on the shelf, Little Debbie oatmeal cake, what I thought was individual. And so I grabbed the thing, I didn't even pay attention to the price. And because I'm paying gas with a credit card, I put it on there with it. So I don't even know how much I paid for the thing. And so I go running out and I look in there and I see extra cream fillings inside of that thing. And I'm thinking, oh, well, no wonder it's so stinking thick. They put 2 of them in here. So I said, you were riding with me. And I said, hey, you looks like I got 2 of them. You want one of them? Because I don't want 2. I didn't want 2. So he's, no, all right. So I tear it open and I try to get it and I try to start taking them apart. Little Debbie oatmeal cakes, this individual one had gone from being 2 oatmeal cakes with that artificial cream in the middle of it, which is what I love. That's why I get it.
I don't even want to know what that stuff actually is.
To 3 oatmeal cakes with 2 layers of cream. It truly is an oatmeal sandwich now. It's a double-decker.
Yes, but because there's not 2, they saved on one of the oatmeal cakes.
Right, they did. So you actually don't have 2 whole ones in there. So you got like a Big Mac of oatmeal cake.
Okay.
So that's
interesting.
It was a little thicker, had a little bit more going to it. I'm just like, okay, well, this is where Little Debbie's have gone.
So where were you going with this
I have no
tirade?
idea.
Meanwhile, everybody in Radioland's like,
So what? Hey,
great to know about the Little Debbie cakes.
That's
I
right.
didn't care.
And so more bag for your buck if you want to run in and get you a Little Debbie snack cake.
Are we going to charge them too?
Oatmeal cake. No.
Hostess?
Hey. Well,
That, and I really want to patent the Hostess Maximus.
I actually said Maximus Hostess.
Well, don't.
Anyway, yeah, okay. That
You ruined my moment.
Hostess Max. Let me try that again. Here you go. Going to put me on Big Machine, right? And on the other side of the room is your Hostess Maximus.
You said it backwards.
I thought that was the way you wanted
Maximus Hostess.
it. I thought you didn't want it that way.
Whatever.
Anyway, so here we are in the studio, and I tried starting off today by going outside and showing everybody, because I give the weather, I say what it's like in central Wisconsin. So I wanted to go filming outside, and Facebook Live would not work for me. 15 minutes, I'm standing outside, people driving up and down Main Street, watching me stand outside with my smartphone on my selfie stick. Do you know what that looks like? Just picture this, a guy standing in his front yard staring at a camera on the end of a stick.
If you really want to be specific about it, you were standing in someone else's front yard.
Actually, yes, I'm standing in your front yard. Okay. And people are driving by, and I'm just wondering what in the world they're thinking of me with this selfie stick in my hand and staring at the camera up there, trying to talk to it. I can only imagine what that looked like. And of course, I'm getting the rubbernecking going on, and people are, what are you doing over there? You know, and it's central Wisconsin. So that kind of explains a lot of things. But I just wanted to try and show the listening audience what a gorgeous day it is here in central Wisconsin. That's my point. That's my point. So we'll kind of want to move on, though, and let you know some other things that are going to be happening here in central Wisconsin. If you're a listener to this show and you're local, I want to tell you about a community concert that we kind of got ourselves involved in, kind of by accident. Emily, who sings with us, my daughter Emily, who used to sing with us, she is still trying to broaden her horizons. One of the things that she has not gotten to do a whole lot of work with is choral work, and was invited to be a part of this group, this choral group that's going to be doing a community Christmas concert. I think you mean
chorale.
Yeah, correct. Anyway, so she was invited to it. She goes to the first rehearsal, and she comes home and she says, Dad, they don't have very many guys. In fact, they have one. One guy showed up, and they need guys. So I'd like for you to do this. And I'm like, well, you know, my boys did their sports, did their music, all that kind of stuff. I supported them in all the things that they did. Here comes my daughter. She's involved in this, and she says, Dad, I'd like for you to be involved with this with me. So what does a good dad do? You get involved. And so I'm like, okay. So I look over at John and I said, hey, John, do this with me. And went to a couple of the guys in our church and said, hey, you guys like to sing and you do choral work, and they need a couple of guys in their choral work. You can come and help me. So they showed up. So Sunday night we had our first rehearsal. I haven't done choir work in, wow, long time. So the sight reading was rusty. Oh, man, was it rusty. And so I definitely got work to do. But we also want to tell you, so that's going to be, I want to tell you about this. That's going to be on Saturday evening here in the central Wisconsin area at the Almond United Methodist Church on Saturday, December 9th. Saturday, December 9th, part of our community. Also want to tell you that the Hancock Wesleyan Youth is going to be doing a fundraiser theater, dinner theater, fundraising dinner theater. It's called Christmas at Uncle Phil's, and that's going to be at the Hancock Community Center on December the 16th. Saturday, December 16th. That will be a full-blown meal with that and everything. You'll want to be a part of that. If you're in the central Wisconsin area, we are asking for a suggested donation of $10 that goes towards the youth group. If you want to give more than that, you can. If you can't give any more than that, that's fine. We do ask, though, if you would grab a ticket because we want to make sure we got enough food and we're doing our counts off of tickets. So this is a good place for a break. We're going to talk to you a little bit more about the stuff coming up at Christmas time. So get you a drink, a refill, come on back.
You're listening to the B. Andrews Radio Show.
Na, 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 na. Sing the chord of praise. Na, 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 na. Sing the chord of praise. Well, there's a guy I know, so let's call him Joe, because he's a real good friend. He wants to start a fight when things aren't right in this world that we're living in. So it says to him, Joe, I know that you know that fighting never pays. So instead of a fight when things aren't right, why don't you start with a chord of praise? Na, 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 na. Sing the chord of praise. Na, 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 na. Sing the chord of praise. There is a simple truth that folks don't understand. Everything that happens in our lives comes from God's own hand. Everybody has a choice that they can make every day. You can choose to ignore what comes from God or sing the chord of praise. Now it occurred to me how things might be when this world comes to an end. It won't be long till we're all gone and standing up in heaven, and then we'll have no fear when we get there, 'cause with the angels we will raise to my Lord a song that starts with this chord, a song that starts with the chord of praise. Sing the chord of praise. Sing the chord of praise. Welcome back to the B. Andrews Radio Show. That was interesting. We just did our 2-minute drill, and wow, I'm glad we don't play in the NFL. That was pretty much a bad drill. Well, we got to improve that.
We'll get it better.
We'll get better at it. So here we are in our second segment, and one of the things I want to segue to this idea. We're heading on to Christmas. We just talked about in our last segment. We got a couple things coming up in this area. There is so much to do at Christmas time. I mean, if you're in our household, there's cookies to bake. There's schnecken to eat. There's Oh, I'm so looking forward to Schnecken. There is parties to go to. And, of course, being a pastor of the church, you lead your church into doing all different kinds of festivities. There's our youth group's going to be having a play December 16th.
Oh, yeah. Don't even talk about all the
Hancock Community Center. The very next day, that's on Saturday. On Sunday, we organize a Christmas caroling group. We're in a small enough town. We go around door to door. We have a little bit of lunch. We have a little bit of vocal practice, and then we
wish you a Merry
Christmas. We go out into the cold, where we ask Barry to do things for us to keep us warm.
We ask him to break wind.
Barry, stand in front of me and
break wind.
Break wind.
It was cold that day, okay?
And the pastor's wife has her daughter to help her get high. It was a cold day.
It was a cold day. It messed with people's minds.
Oh, I'm telling you. But we go around and we go Christmas caroling.
No, it'd be brain freeze. Yes,
pretty much. So Wisconsin,
master.
And So we go around and we do Christmas caroling at places and hand out cookies on that day. And then this year, Christmas Eve is on a Sunday. And so that particular day, we will do our Christmas communion at our church. Big time. Something we haven't done for a long time is we're going to do a Christmas Eve service. So we'll be offering that on the 24th. And then there's just all the things around here. Since there's no stores locally, all the things that major cities have that goes along in the stores and things like that, we don't have. And most of those kinds of stores that do are 30, the closest, there's some that are 30 miles away, but the real big ones are all 50 to 60 miles away. So an hour and a half away to get to those particular malls and stores where those kinds of festivities are going on. And then there's the extra shows that go on that people would like to see. And you either travel to Wausau or Madison and the concerts and each school is going to have a concert. We got a couple of young people, their school play is going to be this week, Friday and Saturday at Tri-County High School. So, all the festivities that go on, and then all the high schools have all their Christmas concerts. The bands do. And they ask people to come in for their Christmas concerts, and different school choirs are going to have their Christmas concerts. And I mean, there's just so many festivities.
You haven't even gotten to setting up the Christmas tree.
We haven't gotten to setting up the Christmas tree. You haven't gotten to the ministries. We have locally what we call Share Our Surplus Ministry, where lots of people come together and end up distributing food to needy families all across the area.
And I'm sure you got to get to Christmas shopping in there too somewhere.
So there's Christmas shopping that goes along in with all that. Where do you break away? How do you break away all of those Christmas festivities? And I haven't even talked about where you work may end up having a Christmas party. A club or a group that you may belong to, it has a Christmas party going on to it. Let's see. So you have all those kinds of things that are going on. Our youth group is going to be doing a Christmas party on December 20th. And we're taking the kids out. Pizza Blast is what we're going to do on that particular day. So you got all these things that are going on. How do you keep the meaning of Christmas, the real meaning of Christmas, in the middle of all of the festivities and the things you want to do? And hey, what about a couple of nights during those weeks, you got those traditional Christmas shows that you watch with your loved ones and bring back those memories? I love The Christmas Story. Just shoot your eye out.
Yeah. Or, It's a Wonderful Life.
Use the nose, Robbie.
The nose jump.
Wow. So you can tell which ones we like. But when do you get the time to do that? Or how about something I love to do is get the hot drinks flowing, the coffee, the hot chocolate. Okay, hot apple cider. And dude, you do mull some mean apple cider. I like yours. And put that artificial fireplace on the TV, complete with sound and music.
For those of us who don't have real fireplaces.
And just enjoy the evening together. But as nice as even all that is, I mean, that's still enjoying other people and so forth. But where's the meaning of Christmas come in at? Where do you really start celebrating and contemplating and taking in the deepest things that God sent his son? Very, very precious gift. The most precious gift ever given in the universe. In the universe. I mean, did I make it colossal enough there? I mean, the most precious gift in all the universe. And sent him just for us and just because he loved us. And how do you break away from all those other things, as good and as wholesome as they might be, to reflect and to take and to drink that in so deeply that it changes you? How do you keep that other stuff in the right perspective so that you don't lose Christmas. Because, the next thing you know, that's how you start singing those songs. Where are you, Christmas?
That's not how it goes, but
okay. Or all I want for Christmas is you. Or
I'm sorry, I hate that song.
If
not for any other reason, just for the fact that I've just heard it. Like last year, they played this.
Oh, they did. Up here, it got played about every fifth song or something like that.
Stop playing that song.
And by the way, I don't know if it is where you are, because we do have people that listen to this radio show. We got a couple in California, and we've got some all the way over in the East Coast, Virginia to California. I know people have listened to our radio show, so we don't know if they have where you are, but they have already started. Our local Christian radio station has gone Christmas 24/7. They did it at midnight on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're 24/7 Christmas right now here on our Christian radio station in Wisconsin. And then there'll be a couple of secular radio stations that will do it out of Madison and so forth on December 1st. That's their day, and they'll go 24/7 Christmas like that. And it's like, wow. Back when I was a kid, we thought it was something when they started at noon on Christmas Eve and went 24/7 all Christmas music.
They used to wait that long?
Yeah. Yeah. Most radio stations start Christmas Eve 24/7. And then somewhere down the line, the easy listening station went the week before. And so it did Christmas music all week long. But none of the other radio stations would do it when I was a kid. Only the easy station would.
Huh.
And so that way you had one station in Cincinnati that you would turn to. And, if you wanted a little shot of Christmas, boom, turn over that station. And then you went back to your rock and roll or your country or whatever it was that you wanted to listen to.
I like being able to listen to Christmas music throughout the whole season, to be honest.
Yeah. So, but how do you do that? Here's my proposal for you. This Christmas, would really like to encourage you, just like we talked about last week, making Thanksgiving a spiritual holiday, making Christmas something that is absolutely life-changing. And number one, go to your local church. That is where it starts, being a part of a community of faith. But we celebrate what we call Advent. And Advent means that there is an event that's going to happen, and it happens at this time of the year, and this is what it's all about. Jesus Christ is coming, and it starts the 4 Sundays before Christmas. And this year, that'll take you right through the Sunday of Christmas Eve. And so this week is the first week of Advent, this upcoming Sunday, and the pastor of the church should talk about some major things as it starts relating to Christmas, and take some time during the week after you hear what that is. We'll have the lighting of the Advent candle, and we'll talk about those particular things. Pastor will either talk about love, joy, peace. It's actually joy, peace. Oh man, now I forgot. Brain cramp.
Boy.
Brain cramp. Love, joy, peace, love, and I'm missing one. Why am I missing one? Thank you. Yeah. Hope, joy, peace, and love. Then hope is the first one. Okay, because that's what Jesus Christ brings. Or there's another facet to that. I won't get into that. But celebrate each week by going to the house of God and reflecting there. Use Sunday for that. You don't want to watch football anyway. It's whatever. And use that and bring that into your life and reflect on that every day. Either do that in the morning or as you're decorating for Christmas and enjoying the lights, when something that maybe your pastor might have said in this upcoming week that will talk about hope. And when you see those lights, when you see the greens, when you're reminded that an evergreen is about everlasting life. And that's the whole reason why we use those in our Christmas decorating. When you talk about lights, talk about Jesus being the light of the world that came on in a very dark night. When you talk about joy, the angels were the ones that sang it, joy to the world. world, when you talk about love, there is no greater love than Jesus Christ, because God gave his only son because he loved you. And each one of these things, each one of these weeks is just absolutely amazing. So, going to take a break, come back, let's finish this topic.
I got you be feeling that. It's got a great groove going on. Yeah. Got me feeling good. Got me feeling really good. Here we go. I'm just sitting here and enjoying the shade. How you been feeling? I've been feeling good.
Sitting here, thinking about all of the good things and the things that are fresh and new. Oh yeah. I just want to take some time and say thank you, 'cause I know that all of the good things come from you. So here we go. Thank you,
Thank you.
my Jesus, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the good things in my life.
Thank you so
Oh
much.
yeah. Thank you,
Thank you.
my Jesus, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the good things in my life.
Oh, you know that's true. Just want to
Welcome back to the B. Andrews Radio Show. This our third and final segment of our radio show. We were just on the 2-minute drill. Wow, that went fast. I mean, 2 minutes
It's
is
just 2 minutes.
really short. So anyway, hopefully you get to see that stuff. Maybe you get to be on the other side of the 2-minute drill. That's pretty cool. So we'll always try to keep you in the loop, try to figure out a better way to keep getting everybody in. Here in our third and final segment, let me just wrap this up really quick. When you go to make something very special for you in what you do, like we talked last week about making Thanksgiving special to you. And we're talking this week about taking the Advent season, take the whole season, all 4 weeks, find a house of worship, find a church that will be celebrating Advent. And if you don't already attend somewhere, and throw your heart into it. But you know what really makes Christmas? Let me back up and ask you this question. Has a Christmas ever gone by and you said to yourself, man, I missed Christmas. It went by and I didn't even know it, you know? Sometimes that can happen because of work. That one particular year, I was working like crazy, probably doing anywhere from 70 to 80 hours a week. I had my own company. There's lots of different reasons why it can happen, but it happens, and this may sound a little harsh, it happens because you don't make it happen. In other words, Christmas goes flying by because you put your mind, heart, time, all that other stuff, energy behind doing everything else but making Christmas special for you. And if you're the head of a family, if you're a dad, mom, it's up to you to help your kids to have a special meaning in Christmas because you're the head of the household. So if Christmas is going to be meaningful, it's got to be up to you. And if it's going to be spiritual, that means you're going to have to take that time and make it happen. Start at the house of worship. Take the subject matters of the lighting of the Advent candle and bring it into your household and contemplate it and take some time. Spend your energy making spiritual time. And you'll find out you'll have a way deeper, richer, more meaningful Christmas season. That's what I would love for you to do. So with that, we're going to segue into our good news segment. And so it's now time for a little good news.
Well, you know, it's time for a little good news. And let the sun shine through for me and you with some good news. Okay, and our good news for today, let's see here, where does this come from? CNN, actually. It was comes from CNN. The title reads, "The 11-year-old who won a $25,000 science prize." And this actually is pretty cool, right? So this girl's name, she's from Colorado, but I really can't say her name very well. I'm going to say Jitanali or something like that.
Moving right along.
Anyway, this awesome little 7th grade girl is from Colorado. She has been awarded the title of America's top young scientist for designing a compact device to detect lead in drinking water, which she believes can be faster and cheaper than other current methods. The 11-year-old's invention was inspired by the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, where cost-cutting measures led to tainted drinking water that contained lead and other toxins. It also won her a $25,000 prize for which she already has plans. "I plan to use most of it in developing my device further so that it can be commercially available soon," she told CNN. Lead, it's pretty awesome. Lead is a toxic metal that is harmful to humans, even in very low concentrations. If ingested, it is particularly dangerous for children and can cause developmental problems. It usually finds its way into the water system as a result of corrosion of old leaded pipes made before we knew it was toxic. The EPA, the U.S. government agency whose mission is to protect human health and the environment, sets the maximum contaminant level goal of lead in drinking water at 0, meaning that no amount is safe for human consumption. However, this is unrealistic because of the widespread use of lead piping. Thus, it's not enforced. The actual admissible quantity is 15 parts per billion, called an action level because if 10% of water samples from the same source exceed it, action must be taken. The World Health Organization, by comparison, sets a more strict acceptable level of 10 parts per billion. As of June 2016 in the U.S., an estimated 5,300 water systems were in violation of the EPA's lead and copper regulations, exposing 17.6 million people to unsafe levels of contaminants. In Flint, Michigan, one test by city officials in a local household in 2015 revealed a lead concentration of 397 parts per billion. 26 times more than EPA's own danger level of 15. But independent tests run by Virginia Tech researchers found concentrations as high as 13,000 parts per billion. After I learned about Flint, said the little girl, I continued to research and follow it for the next couple years. Then I saw my parents testing for lead in our water, and that is pretty much what sparked the idea. I realized that using test strips would take quite a few tries to get the accurate results, and I wanted to do something to change this, not only for my parents, but for the residents of Flint and places like Flint around the world. Since lead does not affect the taste, smell of appearance of water in any way, the only way to detect it is with a test. There are currently 2 main ways to do so: home testing strips or lab testing. The strips generally cost $15 to $30, can detect various contaminants and offer quick results, but they are not designed for maximum accuracy. That requires the more rigorous lab testing, which involves collecting a sample of water at home. Specific kits are sold for around $10 and then sending it to a lab to get detailed results, which can cost an additional $20 to $100 according to the EPA. The little girl thinks her device could... I'm sorry, I have to keep saying the little girl because I don't know how to say her name.
We understand, and we don't want you to butcher her name.
Yes.
And we apologize to her, but we say congrats to her.
Yes,
Keep going.
yes. She thinks her device could become a competitively priced alternative. The prototype cost is just over $20 to make, but all the materials were custom manufactured. At bulk, I expect the production cost to be significantly less than that. The device, called a tethys, after the Greek Titan goddess of freshwater, uses carbon nanotubes, microscopic cylindrical structures that have a range of unusual properties and innovative applications. Inspired by an MIT project that employs them to detect hazardous gases in the air, she decided to try them in the water. My solution uses carbon nanotubes to detect lead in water faster than any other current techniques. It has a carbon nanotube sensor, which special atoms are added to react to lead, she said. When dipped in contaminated water, the special atoms react with lead molecules and add resistance to a flow of current in the nanotubes, which is then easily detected by the device. The amount of resistance is proportional to the amount of lead in the water. The process includes an attachment that sends the measurements over Bluetooth to a smartphone. The smartphone app that I custom developed captures this data and shows the results on a user-friendly scale. She thinks that tethys will be better in both lab testing and stress. Testing water in labs is the most accurate test available today. However, it takes time and requires expensive equipment not easily accessible to everybody. On the other end, test strips are easy to use, but they do not quantify the contamination and are sometimes inaccurate, requiring multiple tests. My solution addresses all the above issues. It uses a disposable cartridge that can cost as low as $1. It is fast, accurate, and it shows lead contamination levels on a regular smartphone that are easy to interpret and take appropriate action, she said.
There you go. And not only is she into science, but she sounds like she's an entrepreneur. I mean, she has helped to develop this along with the electronical way of recording it, sending the information. I mean, you know, and she is taking the $25,000 to invest in a company to get the manufacturing done. Now that's an entrepreneur.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
Well,
I see a need.
Fill the need.
And he filled it.
Mother necessity.
Absolutely.
Well, not only that, but okay, so say you have to take multiple tests with the tethys system. How would you like that's way better than having to spend like $20 on test strips for multiple ones. I mean, that sucks.
Right. Or, well, and then the other one, it said $120 to send it in for the lab
like $100,
test.
Something like that. To
Yeah,
send it in for a lab
and
test.
so there you go.
to
So for $20, you get one, and the accuracy is already there, and it puts it on the phone. And if you need to notify the EPA, you've got a way of sending that already in because it's on a smartphone. So kudos. Now here's what I want to. No, not going to go there. She's smart. Give her the credit. No negativity on this.
No, that's awesome.
So my negativity was going to go, why didn't somebody else think of this first? But you know what? She saw a need. And she filled the need. And you know what? I really, really hope that this young gal invests her $25,000 and it comes back to her 10 times fold. I really do. Or even more than that. So congratulations and thank you. Another way of being a blessing in this world. So we ask people all the time when it comes to good news and to doing things like that, go out, find a need and fill it, whether it's doing something great in somebody's life or inventing something.
Well, not only that, but come on, she's 11. So if an 11-year-old is doing this, that doesn't give any of us an excuse not to do something.
To do something, or to be in somebody's life, to make a difference.
The Bible says, don't let people despise you for your youth.
Ooh, I can spend...
Get out and do it.
I could spend a whole show talking about...
Just get out and do it.
About that.
You want to help? Get out and help.
Get out and...
I mean, we're not all scientists, but you can do something.
You can do something, yeah. You can care.
Well, and that's really what sets her apart. I mean, she's obviously very highly intelligent, obviously, but she cared enough to want to do something.
Yep. Care was the driving factor behind it. Well, we're about ready to wrap up our show for today. This is the end of segment 3 and the end of the show. I think it was a pretty good show. So anyway, we'll be back here next Tuesday. We're going to be talking about our Advent. We're going to be talking about some other things. You'll want to be a part of the show.
Until next time, this is we are your hosts, Eric Hambrock and Hostess Maximus.
Have a great week, everybody. See you back here next Tuesday.
This was brought to you by the HBC, the Hambone Broadcasting Corporation.
na, na.